Hey, Cooter.
Joe!
Check this out. There's Anywhere But Here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about Anywhere But Here.
What's Anywhere But Here? Anywhere But Here in Mississippi?
No, man, Anywhere But Here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the Wars in the Stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere But Here podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Anywhere But Here. This is episode number 84. I am Tom.
And I'm Ant.
And you can find us at abhpod.com where we have all of our all of our shows up there for you to go and download and listen to. Also, there is an Amazon banner up in the right hand corner of the website where you can go, you click on that, you go through to Amazon, you do your shopping as normal, and we get 5% of what you spend for no extra hassle or cost to yourself.
No.
It's good.
And it does really, really help us. It helps us pay for our hosting costs, which allows us to give these for free. Because,
exactly.
you know.
Because we're nice like that.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to charge you for this.
Yeah, and if you do enjoy what you listen to, don't forget when you click on those buttons on our website, when you go to iTunes and Stitcher and things like that, don't forget to subscribe. So, you know, we get to your podcast player automatically every week.
Like magic almost.
While you're there, you might as well give us a rating and a comment. Mm-hmm. And it really helps us as well. It gets us higher up the lists and it makes it easier for people to find us.
Certainly does.
And if you want to get in contact, I suppose you can go over to our Facebook, facebook.com/abhpod.
Yeah.
You can share stories and things with us.
Can indeed. And you can do the same thing on Twitter at abhpod, where you can only share in 140 characters.
Yeah.
If you like.
If you... Or the most important one we always forget, in long form you can contact abhpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
And if you love our voices and you wonder what we look like, head over to youtube.com/abhpodcast and you can see us sitting in front of microphones talking and occasionally glancing up at you.
Just sometimes.
And this is going to be the first video in 4 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
We had our ice bucket challenge.
Well, yeah, that was one video, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was an interesting day.
Yeah.
It was good fun though.
I liked it. It was fine. I was I was a little bit hungover.
Yes, yeah, you were, weren't you?
Which added to the kind of shock value of it. And there was if you'd only know, if you look back, there's a moment I might have thrown up.
Really? In your mouth?
Yeah, just a bit.
Dear. I've not seen it. I'm going to have to go and watch it again because we are quite narcissistic and I have seen it a couple of times because it just makes me laugh.
Makes me laugh.
The noises we've made.
Oh, it's the slowed down effect on it as well that adds an extra.
One of my favourite things, I think, is when you kind of come out and you went, that was a shock. That makes me laugh. It's such a genuine response to it. It's brilliant.
Well, I didn't realise it would be so cold. We only put, really 5 bags of ice in there.
Yeah. Only
5 kilograms of ice.
But I think the problem is we left it in there a while, so it made it and the water had been sat there all morning when it was cold. And shockingly, we've only had one response so far.
Have we? I haven't seen it.
It's not a video. It's probably my favourite response from anyone. Anyone who gets nominated, I'm not going to do it because of this and because of that.
Yeah, I've seen one of them.
My tits. I love this one, and it was from Mark, the guy in Ipswich that I nominated, and he just went, I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to donate.
Fair enough.
And it was like, brilliant.
Good on you, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to do it. I don't blame him. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, because I've seen one person we both know have a complete hissy fit about it.
Yeah, I've seen several people that we know have a hissy fit.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to do this because I've never heard of the charity. I don't donate. I only donate to one charity, and I'm not going to donate to this one.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never heard of it.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So might other people.
Yeah, they may well do. Yeah.
He doesn't, so it's fine. But no. I've seen several articles posted as well. I really didn't want to talk about it when we came here this morning. We started chatting. I was like, I don't want to do it because this is annoying me and this and this and this, and we started getting worked up.
I think it needs addressing though, doesn't it? That's the thing. Like, people's negativity towards it needs addressing.
I understand because I was wanting to do it.
I was down on it at the very beginning. In fact, that week that if we'd have done a live Anywhere But Here last week, before I knew we'd been nominated, I'd have had a little bit of a rail against it because I genuinely believe some people aren't doing it for the charity.
No.
And that's my problem.
It is the attention.
And we are narcissistic and we've watched it ourselves, but we've both donated.
Yeah, we both did the challenge and we donated like you're supposed to, and we told people to donate in our videos.
Yeah.
which is one of the important things people forget to do.
Yeah.
One of the other important things people forget to do is ice.
Yeah, that's the pussy's way out. I'm sorry.
And buckets, and like I admitted, we don't have buckets, which is why we
jumped in a paddling pool.
But you know, the thing that annoys me is people getting on their high horse and saying, well, this doesn't fucking do anything for the child. Well, just dumping cold water over your head, achieve. And it's like, I've never heard of the ALS Association.
No, exactly. It's all about raising awareness. And
I've heard of the illness under a different name.
Yeah, I mean, over here, it's not ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. It's motor neuron disease.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's what effectively Stephen Hawking's got, I believe, isn't it?
He's got Lou Gehrig's, yeah.
But it's not even called Lou Gehrig's over here. That's the thing.
Yeah, but...
Like, you know... and you know, it's like I say, it's all about raising awareness, and it's working.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether or not you donate to that charity or another charity, I don't think it really matters all that much. One of my old primary school friends, she did the ice bucket challenge, but I've seen people donate to like British versions of the ALS.
Yeah, people donate to MND, which is the point. I think for the English one, it is the point when people kind of realise what was going on. They're like, well, actually, if you're in England, you should probably send your money here because this is the country you live in, and
precisely.
It's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same. Affliction. It's the same disease, same condition, but obviously you want to support it in your country because God forbid you ever come down with it. You want the people that look after you to have your money, sort of thing, or anyone that anyone in your family that suffers.
Yeah,
but it's not even. It is. The people forget what it's for.
A lot of people, because it's literally, I don't really know that many people who haven't done it or been involved in it in some
practically
way.
Everyone's done it. Even Liz, who I didn't think would do it, she did it.
Yeah,
and I didn't think she would do it. But what was I going to say? On the subject of people donating to different charities, of Macmillan, kind of, who's our cancer charity over here, they kind of said, you know, start doing it for us as well if you want, which is fine because it gives people an outlet. Like one of our friends did it, and in his video he got all high and mighty and said, I'm not going to donate to ALS because they test on animals, so I'm going to donate to Macmillan. Yeah. And it's just like...
Yeah, but do you need to point that out, really?
You probably know that in the past, cancer treatments were probably discovered through animal testing, and Macmillan are probably using those methods to treat their patients. So... You know, it's kind of... It's a hot button topic, and it's like...
The thing is, there are certain people who love to jump on a bandwagon, which is fine. That's great as long as it's raising awareness for the right thing. And there are those who want to try to undermine the bandwagon jumpers and the cause, and by saying stuff like that, I don't think it's just And
this same person actually posted an article saying,
I think I saw that.
ALS Association admit fraud. 73% of their donations don't actually go to research.
Well, of course they don't.
I posted underneath. I was like, but 27% of 100 million
is a
lot more than the 4 or 14 million, 10% of the or 27% of the 14 million they raised last year.
Yeah.
So can't we just be happy with what's happened?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Through this ice bucket challenge thing, that charity has made X times more money.
Yeah, 10 times. It's still going up.
Yeah, because everyone's still doing it.
Over 10 times the amount of money they raised last year, they've raised just in these last couple of months from the Ice Bucket Challenge.
And I think that's amazing.
And that 73% is probably budgeted on what they made last year, because you've got to make projections.
Yeah.
So they probably made their budget and went, oh, look, 73% is going to admin and fundraising
and you think
and
that like all the overheads are going to stay roughly the same.
That price doesn't go up.
No.
Because they've earned more money.
Because rent doesn't go up to the proportion of what you earn.
Yeah.
Nor do your salaries, nor does...
I mean, they might...
It depends on how many more...
Or it depends if it's a volunteer position or if they're on a pay scale based on earnings and things like that, and which is fine because you're fucking doctors. You're doing research that counts. So have a little bit more money. And people who are volunteering. It's not a paid position. Do you know what I mean? But it's one of those things that cost, like you say, that cost the rent the
rent of the buildings that they operate from
doesn't
and
go up.
All that won't
that
go
stays
up.
the same.
Yeah.
So that gets paid.
And I'd imagine they've got a subsidy on that anyway because they're a charity.
Or a tax relief of some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 73% of their projected fundraising, not 73% of what they've made.
What they have actually made. I'm sure that the real figures will come out at the end of the financial year, and we'll all know.
So what if it is 73% of that? Like
Because-
we say, it's doctors' salaries. They're doing the research. It's fundraising costs to make more money for the research. It's rent for a place to do the research.
Yeah.
It's admin for somebody to pay the money to these people that need it. It's running costs of a charity. So that just gets on my nerves when people do that.
Yeah.
And I actually said to Liz, I said, I wanted to put on there, the Schrödinger. I always struggle with his name. Schrödinger's
cat. Yeah.
That's the experiment where they teach the cat to press a button to get fed, or no, it's the electrified floor and things.
The Schrödinger's cat is the cat in the box with a shotgun.
Shotgun?
Yeah.
Cat with a shotgun?
Yeah. And
he hasn't got any thumbs though. How does he fire it?
No, opposable
Cats
thumbs.
don't have opposable thumbs.
Oh, that's so in
joke.
No, it's there's something to do with like there's a shotgun version. There's also a version where if the cat takes a thing, then it gets gassed or electrocuted or something. Yeah. But there's a percentage chance that it's not actually dead until you open.
It's conditioning, isn't it? It's conditioned responses. But there is like a version, I think they did a couple because you've got to have the control and you've got to have the positive and the negative. It's like positive reinforcement as well, where you press the button, you get a treat. Yeah. Or if you press this button or smell this, then you get sick. But I equated this guy to that because he seems to say things that he knows will get him attention from women.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So I said to Liz, I felt like putting on this thing. Have you ever heard of Schrödinger's cat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because it is, it's like, I love animals and I think animals for research is wrong. And it's like, I mean, to a certain extent, all men are like that, really, aren't they?
Well, yeah. If they want attention from the opposite sex, then that's...
Yeah, but it
down.
just made me laugh. But, I mean, like I say, he has a point. If he doesn't agree with animal testing, donate to Macmillan. Just do it quietly.
But he's also one of these nutters that goes on about the one world government and
this guy who hates... And he supported Occupy London, and he supported that cause. He worked his whole life for Tesco.
Yeah. One of the biggest conglomerates in this country.
Now owned by Walmart. Yeah. One of the biggest conglomerates in America. In the world. And it's like that company that used to kick people out of their houses to build stores. Like, he's out of it now and he works for quite a very good company. He works for the John Lewis Partnership now.
Right. Yeah.
A very good company. But you got your management training and your whole life from Tesco. How can you you're like sitting there and fucking Occupy London outside St Paul's Cathedral, kind of like, fuck the government, fuck the government. Oh, I've got to go. I've got to get up for work in the morning. Like, you can't do that. That's not how it works.
No, you're a protester or you're part of the system. I'm sorry. And he wasn't trying to take him down from the inside either, was he?
It's great supporting the cause, but just be aware.
Yeah, of yourself.
Be self-aware.
I think that's
he's
enough.
Quite a nice bloke, though, to be
Yeah, no, we like him very much, but
you've got to, your friends have to look at themselves sometimes.
Yeah, be a bit more self-aware, like we say. Yeah, I don't even know if he listens to this, if I'm quite honest.
That's why I'm covering my tracks. Yeah. No, I'm joking, of course. Oh dear,
it's what we do. Yeah. So, which have been your favourite ones that you've seen then of the Ice Bucket Challenge? That is.
It's difficult. I love Benedict Cumberbatch as well.
Yeah.
I showed you that last week, didn't I? That is just brilliant. And I love the honest ones. I like the Foo Fighters one. I haven't seen it because I've heard it's very, very long. And I understand
really long.
A lot of work went into it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And they probably donated a shit ton of money.
Yeah. I actually watched Carrie the other night, and it's pretty spot on.
It is the Carrie one, yeah. And Dave Grohl is funny, and the Foo Fighters are funny, and they do brilliant things like that. And to do it in that short amount of time, is brilliant. But
it is a short film. It's about 8 minutes long.
They spend so much money on it, so yes, of course, it's going to be good, and you can appreciate. I mean, I saw one where the guy. There's one, the Shake Hole, the YouTube channel I watch.
Right.
He did one where he kind of runs out of his house, slow motion GoPro footage, jumps over a fence, stands on top of this big heap of mud, and he gets a like the bucket of a digger just dumps water all over him. And he's like, that's funny.
Yeah.
But my favourite one my favourite version of that is where there was a builder on a building site sat on a chair.
Yeah.
Who got water dumped over him and it knocked the chair over and broke the chair, and he tried to sit on a chair with 3 legs for the last bucket of water. And like that, I prefer that because it's genuine.
Yeah.
It's honest. Stuff went wrong. I just love them like that. I mean, Liz's was funny because she screamed her head.
Yes.
And there's another one where a girl that we know, she'd done it and she screamed her head off and she jumped about, and it was just funny because
a lot of the
genuine
girls
reactions.
from my work are kind of arm flappy.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. I'm very into the reaction videos.
It's much more about the reaction than the actual production.
And the people who dump the water over their head clearly no ice and they have no reaction. It's like, that's warm
Why
water.
have you done
It's
that?
not fun.
Yeah.
At least fake a reaction for us.
Yeah,
even though
come
I like
on.
genuine ones. Did you see the one where the girl got water dumped over herself and she went to run off and she slipped and cracked her head on the floor? Hilarious.
I really liked Patrick Stewart's one because it was
Class.
just a bit classy.
Classy.
Yeah. Good on him.
He had a nice bucket.
Yeah, there was an ice bucket there.
Ian McKellen's was quite good.
I haven't seen any.
He actually did. He actually
he?
did it with his crew, yeah.
Because Tom Cruise did one as well.
Has he?
Yeah, he was with the director of the film he's working on, but the whole cast was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And they weren't. They were in a different location. But I don't know whether it's a new Mission Impossible film. I think it is.
I hope so.
I
really like those films, yeah. Just for the switch off your brain and enjoy this.
But because the rest of the cast they're spread across 3 continents or something at the moment.
Of course they are.
So it was just Cruise and the director, and they took the ice buckets for the main members of the crew, so they were dunked with like 20 buckets each.
Oh, really?
It was ridiculous.
That's cool. That's
Like,
cool. I love
there's a
that.
bit about halfway through where Tom Cruise is like, it never ends. How many more?
Tom Cruise is such a nice bloke.
He is. I don't care about his Scientology beliefs.
No, he's a really nice bloke.
Yeah,
I think
I've never heard anything bad against him, apart from the whole,
he does the looking at the bridge of your nose thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So it looks like he's looking into both, because you can tell when somebody's looking into one of your eyes, and he looks at the bridge of your nose.
Yeah.
So it feels like he's looking into your soul.
Yeah.
And he knows your name. Like there was a story I heard where a guy worked on a film with Tom Cruise. This guy's dad. It was a podcaster. Dad worked on a film with Tom Cruise, and when this guy met him, he told him that, my dad worked on the film with you. He was so and so and so and so. And Tom Cruise, I remember him, really nice. And he sort of described his dad.
Yeah.
And he was just like a grip or something like that. It wasn't sort of like in charge of lighting or sound or producer. He was just a grip or something like that. And a couple of years later, when this guy went to interview Tom Cruise on a podcast, he said, how's your dad? How's he doing? Is he good?
Right.
And it's just like,
This is the thing. Yeah. He's either a robot.
He just remembers things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It has to do with Scientology.
It's got to be.
There's
all
tricks.
those
There's got to be
thetans.
tricks that they know.
Yeah.
It's not like it's changed you. Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a trick.
He does, however, have his top row of teeth slightly off centre.
That's weird.
Doesn't
I forgot about those.
We did
pictures.
that early on in the podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like things you didn't know about celebrities. Yeah.
Where one of his teeth is in the middle of his head, so it chucks the
his
rest
front
of them
two
out.
teeth aren't centred. They're off to the side, so one of his front teeth is
It's
in the
right
middle.
in the middle.
Odd. Yeah. So, I mean, there have been some really, like we say, some really good ice bucket challenges.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I think they're good. There's the really bad fake one where the guy shits himself. I don't know if you've seen that. Like he's facing the camera the whole time he comes out of the house. He sits in a chair, gets the water dumped on him, kind of gets up, turns around instantly, and it's like,
Okay.
it's not funny. I can tell it's fake, but yeah, we understand. Like for our nominations, people that haven't done it yet, is because one of the members of Near Ruin is on holiday.
Yeah.
I think Sean from Nerd Church has just got back off from holiday.
Yeah. And the history of
Smoking Stephen
misunderstanding.
record on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Or
But
they'll be doing it on Saturday.
they're doing it. They're doing it on Wednesday. I
Wednesday,
think.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, they've like it's their schedules haven't.
Yeah,
really
because
matched up.
obviously I believe Stephen works nights mainly.
Yes.
And yeah.
So we understand, and we didn't give them a time limit.
No, we
be
didn't
fair.
say 24 hours, so you've gotten away with that.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
It's all right as long as you do it. I just thought Nerd Church needed to do it because Sean made his wife do it.
Yeah.
Or no, he didn't make her do it. Sean's
of
wife
course
did it,
not.
and he filmed her. And
But he took great pleasure in.
oh, he did. I imagine he did. Yeah.
So it's only fair.
But that Twitter conversation where he hadn't realised and you mentioned it to him. They said, "Oh, we're just about to record. What's
Yes.
going on?" You went, "How about?" You're right, and he was like, "Wait, what?"
I hope that's on their episode.
No, it wasn't.
No.
If it's the one that they just released, it's not.
No.
I don't know what their schedule, how they work it.
Nor do I. Sometimes I think they're well up to speed, and sometimes I think they're a couple of weeks behind.
Yeah.
I think it works a bit like that. Yeah, we've not had a lot of kind of. We've had a bit of stuff. Yeah, Robbie's had an email. I had a massive long conversation with a guy called Dave Williams on Twitter the other night. So hello, Dave from Cornwall. We were going on about nursing, weirdly enough.
Oh, I did see that actually. Sorry, now you mention it. Yeah.
I can't remember what really kickstarted it. He's gone back and started listening to all our podcasts anyway.
Good man.
So he's a new listener. So thank you, Dave. It will probably be about half a year or so before you hear this. But
well, yeah, it depends on what order he's listening. Because if he's like you used to listen to the current one and then go back, didn't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know. Who knows? Anyway.
I don't know. But I gave him a list of some of our better podcasts.
So all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it was quite a long list. We've got a lot of podcasts under our belt, and it was about 40% of them, I think. That's a fairly high hit rate, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically we just went on a bit of a rant about Josie Cunningham, because it was 2 episodes ago now. Obviously we've not done a live one since then.
No.
And he was just saying about the fact that it's all about entitlement and self-image and all that kind of stuff, whereas he works obviously for the hospital, and it kind of it winds him up.
Yes.
And that's absolutely fine, because she winds most people up, I believe. I mean, it's just horrible. But I won't talk about her.
I wonder if her
week.
kids ever actually like her.
I don't know.
Oh, well. But yeah, you're getting a lot of interaction off of it, like just for that conversation, which is quite nice, getting conversations going.
Yeah, I mean, he actually sent me a list of how much things like that would actually cost on
her surgery,
private.
Yeah. Oh,
so you've got
the prices of cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. I mean, your regular kind of facelift would be £6,650.
Yeah.
There's nothing on here. There's actually nothing on here about nose jobs or boob jobs or anything like that.
Rhinoplasty, isn't it?
Yeah,
Those jobs,
it's not really on there, which is a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah.
But it's really, really expensive stuff, and obviously.
But I think that list there is actual corrective surgery for someone who's been in an accident.
That's precisely it. So if you're looking at people with carpal tunnel syndrome, to get surgery on that, it's £1,800.
Yeah.
Or spinal surgery is nearly $8,000. Hip replacement is over £10,000. Same with knee replacement. That's nearly £12,000.
Carpal tunnel surgery as well is nothing to be laughing. Like, because where I work manufacturing, people use their hands.
Yeah.
A lot of people end up with carpal tunnel syndrome, so they have to have like 6 weeks off. To
Well,
recover,
even
and they can
people-
only have one hand done at a time.
Yeah.
They end up coming with big scars up the wrist.
Yeah, even people
It's
in my
horrific.
job where it's just keyboards all day, it's the same thing. There are a lot of people who kind of have done it for most of their life.
It's insane.
Yeah. And then that was just to point out the fact that this woman's getting it done on the NHS cheap, but
Because
just
she wants it, not because she needs it.
Also, I think he liked Excellent Horse-Like Lady.
Yeah.
I didn't really get much of a reply off him about that, because he was just going on a 12.5-hour shift.
And he was listening to us the whole
Yeah.
That's awesome. Can you imagine, like, I don't know if he's in operating theatre, but you know how like surgeons have like music playing on the radio?
They've got us.
Got ABH. I don't know if he's
ranting
a surgeon
about
at all,
Josie.
but-
I think
or
he's
if
a
he works in an
nurse. Like I said, I
operative.
think he's a
So he probably
nurse.
does work in the theatre. Or,
Maybe.
Or administers
Yeah, I don't really know.
catheters and things like that.
Mm.
It's one of the worst things. Yeah, so Robbie, I say of course, because he emails...
Everyone.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he has so much to say. But yeah, he's saying it's great because obviously we had Near Ruin on the last 2 episodes.
Yes.
And their album's out now. So go to nearruin.bandcamp.com and go and pick that up.
Indeed.
Please, if you're into metal music. If you're not, buy it for someone who is.
Like Robbie will.
Yeah, he said...
because he's, letting people that like that stuff know about it.
Yeah, he said his cousin is a metal fan.
Yes, that's right.
So when he visits him, he sees all the posters and books related to metal. He said, I might not like the music as much, but I always enjoy looking at the posters and other stuff. Metal posters are usually really artistic and pretty cool to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, his cousin is, I think he said he's going to let his cousin know about Near Room, which is cool, like someone in America.
Yeah, it's an extra overseas fan.
But yeah, he said it's great to hear bands on the show. Hearing about their experiences and how they get inspired is something people take for granted until a band gets famous. It's great to hear it now, like while they're still a relatively young band. Yeah. Especially for the real fans. It is good. I like we say, we're ex-musicians. Are you ever an ex-musician?
I don't think you're ever an ex-musician, are you?
I still pick up my guitar.
I mean, I've not picked up my basses for an age, but I would still class myself... I can still play.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly, and you could still write a song if you needed to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but for us, obviously, it's different hearing about other bands because we can kind of relate to it and see the differences. But for people who might not be into it, it's probably good to hear how musicians think.
Yeah.
Like, get an inside
And I think as well, because we've got that experience of it ourselves, we can ask things that people who aren't might not necessarily think of to
True,
ask.
very true.
Not that I'm saying our interview was, 100% perfect. I thought it was
candid.
good.
It's candid, it's real, it's honest.
But that's what we do here on Anywhere But Here, is candid interviews.
We're not
with
a
people.
music blog.
Like even Ben Copeland, he opened up to us as well.
About his
breakup. About relationship issues and stuff like that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And there was obviously the admission from Sean Williamson as well.
Yeah. So, obviously, because we had those 2 episodes with Near Ruin, we didn't really cover much of the news, and there was some massive stories.
Yeah, we always do, because we do these banked shows now.
Pre-records.
We seem to put banked shows out on weeks where big things happen, and we could have spoken for ages about it.
Yeah.
Which is a pain in the arse.
Yeah, but
it's one of those things, unfortunately.
We're not current anymore like we used to be.
No, we're current once every month now, virtually, aren't we?
Seems to be, yeah.
Seems to be the way. But I'm sure, because it's not summer anymore, we won't be doing quite as much in the future. No. It's back to work now, isn't it?
Yeah, no more holidays or weekends away.
I do have one more in September, but...
Fair enough.
But I have days off in September as well. But anyway, that's a good point. I've got from the 16th to the 18th off in September. So if anyone is out there and fancies doing a ship tie in transit,
good point.
I am free for 3 days from Tuesday to Thursday, 16th to the 18th of September. I'm thinking about my birthday next year. Yeah, so if you want to do a ship tie in transit with me, get in touch at abhpod@gmail.com and we'll sort it out.
Yes.
Because I can do time zones as well, because I'm off.
Good point. Yeah, so you can stay up late.
So, anyone out there in the ex-colonies, any of our overseas listeners, get in touch and we'll try and sort something out. It would be fun. If you've got a local legend or something to talk about, then that would be really, really interesting. You've heard Stephen do it.
Yes.
So it proves that we can do it.
We can. Honest.
We have the technology. Sorry, just a little plug for the other show.
Yeah, but the big thing, I mean, there was one a couple of weeks ago, I think the weekend the first Near Ruin episode came out, and there was one last week as well. But obviously we're talking about Robin Williams' death, which was a major shock. Yeah. It was horrible.
And just tragic because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a long and well-documented history of alcohol abuse and
substance
and things
abuse,
like that,
wasn't it? It was all sorts of things.
And depression.
Being a comedian, for some reason, all comedians...
Yeah, the vast majority of comedians seem to be dark and troubled people, don't they?
Yeah, like ex-alcoholics or current alcoholics or ex-drug abusers.
Addicts,
usually got some form of anxiety or depression, which is terrible. I mean, it's probably a lot to do with the lifestyle, and it's probably a lot to do with why they can be so funny.
Yeah,
and
because it's
because they've got such a different outlook on life.
Yeah,
and obviously Robin Williams. The tragic thing is because he was always on when he was out in public. He was always like you hear story. He's always making people laugh. He's always switched on. You never really saw his dark side.
No,
and that was always a private thing.
And even when he talked about it on stage or on interviews and stuff, it was always in a comedic way.
Yeah.
So you never kind of.
It always seemed like he was over it.
Yeah.
So
it's very sad.
And it is really. It's someone we all grew up with. And that goes alongside the Harold Ramis thing.
Yeah, no, precisely. Yeah.
And it's like our childhoods. Like I put out the tweet, it's like our childhoods are dying.
Yeah.
Everyone. And then obviously.
The other one was Richard Attenborough
last week. Which I said to Liz, we have to stop showing Chloe films from her childhood. Because a week before Robin Williams died, we showed her Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
And then when I was off of work with her, we sat and watched Jurassic Park.
Is it your fault?
I think it might be. No, it's Chloe's fault, not mine.
Blame Chloe. She can't defend herself.
The 7-year-old child. It's her fault. Yeah.
No, it's a shame, really. I mean, Richard Attenborough, it's just been in the business for 60 years.
I mean, obviously he was old age and he was being ill, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, that. As tragic as that is as well, it's a natural thing.
Yeah, it's almost expected of someone up in their 80s.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's
gonna
horrible
happen,
to
isn't
say.
it? I mean, Robin Williams was only in his early 60s.
Yeah, early 60s, and it's the circumstances as well that he took his own life.
Yeah.
And it's the horrible thing that I saw this animated GIF, I think, of an interview he had, and he was like. I think he said something like don't kill yourself. Like people think it's the easy way out, but it's not. And it's just like he said it himself.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, Nerd Church did a really, really good
the tribute to him at the
episode. And they put together
episode
a really
50,
nice.
That was, if you want to go back, nerdchurchpodcast.com, episode 50.
Yeah, and they managed to keep it light as well, unlike us. We seem to dwell on.
Yeah. I mean, we could go back into our histories with Robin Williams. Like, where was the first time you saw him? Do you remember?
In all honesty, it's probably something like Mrs. Doubtfire, or did that come after Aladdin?
I think that was after Aladdin.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's the genie is always going to be...
Yeah, well, my first memory of him was Mork from Mork and Mindy.
Oh, right, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I used to watch that as well.
Absolutely loved that programme.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that I didn't follow, but if it was on, I would watch.
And it's insane to think that the first appearance, the pilot episode, was an episode of Happy Days.
Yeah, that's right. It's a spin-off from Happy Days, isn't it?
Mork from Mork in Happy Days. It's a bit odd.
It's just weird.
It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But I've never actually... I think I might have seen that episode once, actually. I was just about to lie to everyone. But yeah, Mork and Mindy I remember a lot.
Yeah,
that's the first time I saw him. But yeah, the genie's the
my
first. My favourite
films of his, the obvious ones: Aladdin, Jumanji.
Jumanji, so great.
Is amazing.
Oh, that horrible. The
thing about rolling doubles.
Yeah.
And actually recently, I rediscovered The Birdcage. That's a really, really good film.
I saw that once, I believe.
I saw it once years and years ago.
I don't have like a vivid memory of it, so I can't.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit, not over my head, but it was a little bit kind of, I think I was a bit too young for it.
Yeah, I think if I went back and watched it now, I would.
Yeah, it's really good. I watched it the other night and introduced it to Joe as well, who really enjoyed it. So, I also watched Good Will Hunting and I didn't have such a good time with that. If I'm honest.
That's something I keep meaning to watch, but yeah, you did, because you asked me about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I asked a lot of people about it.
Yeah.
And yeah... It got really quite mixed reviews off people, if I'm honest with you, because I asked Smokey and Stephen and I asked Scott as well.
They're the people you need to ask.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't have Charlie's number.
Yeah. That was Facebook.
Yeah, true, but I was at work.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and it kind of came back. Some people were nonplussed by it. Some people think it's really good, but everyone thinks, including myself, that the only scenes that really do stick in your mind are the ones with Robin Williams in it.
That's what I was about to say. When people talk about Good Will Hunting, they don't generally talk about the film. They talk about his performance in the film.
Yeah, and it's great.
Because he won the Oscar for that, didn't he?
Yeah, because again, he's playing more or less a straight man in it, but he's also playing someone with real
As
kind
opposed to Birdcage.
Yeah, exactly.
Dear.
Although he is the straight man in that
good
against
point,
Nathan Lane, but
Good point.
but he's not a straight man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and he's playing someone in Good Will Hunting with real kind of deep rooted problems and depression issues. And it was a bit close, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like
the film Liz and I decided to watch with Chloe was probably a big mistake. After that, we decided to watch Jack.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Which, big mistake.
Yeah.
Because it's him talking about life and coming to the end of his life, and it's like, why did we do this?
Why didn't we just watch Aladdin?
I watched that years ago, and like you said, didn't really connect with it then, but watched it this time, and it's actually, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a really good film, and it shouldn't be. And Jennifer Lopez was quite good in it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember much of it.
So
that's a good thing.
But yeah. But yeah, I love that. But I actually, the first film I saw him playing the straight man in like a serious role was 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah, see, I've never seen that still.
It's creepy as fuck. But yeah, he's really good. He actually, he was a really good actor.
Yeah, I think he was incapable of giving a bad performance, essentially. But again, it's one of these things where, like, when Rick Mayall died, why don't we just celebrate these people when they're still around rather than leave it until they've gone? Because they don't know.
But it's the way of the internet now, isn't it? Because it lasts for a week or two, and we're stretching it out because we haven't recorded.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like lasts a week or two, and then it just goes, and then people are like, oh yeah, Robin Williams. Like next year, people will go, oh yeah, Robin Williams. It's been a year now, and then you go on Reddit, and there'll be loads of posts because it's the anniversary, and that'll last for a week.
Yeah, it kind of happened with Michael Jackson as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Where everyone went mental for about 2 weeks, and then a year later, you're like, oh god, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Richard Attenborough, though, like he really the only thing that I mean, apart from Brighton Rock, which was one of his first ones, he was also in The Great Escape.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant films, but Jurassic Park is really the thing that I connected with most, and probably one of the earliest ones that I remember in my own life watching. I went to the cinema twice to see that and scared shitless both times.
I kept going to the toilet. I kept needing the toilet whenever the T-Rex came on screen.
But you don't go to the toilet.
But it was fantastic film. Like I say, I introduced Chloe to it. I set up my PC speakers because they were cinema speakers to watch it, and it's just
it stands
when you
up.
get the cinema sound back again, it's fantastic.
It stands up. It's an amazing film.
And you can tell, you can see the compositing, you can see you can see some of the effects now, but it was on Blu-ray, so that probably doesn't help it at all.
But also, that film's over 20 years old.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
how good it is. But my other memory of him was is it Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah.
When he played alongside
I was going to mention that. The little girl from Matilda.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
And Matilda,
That girl who was in every single film and for the 90s and hasn't been seen.
Have you seen her recently?
No.
Oh, that's cute.
No. Does she have a drug problem by any chance?
I don't know. Probably. No, I don't think she does.
No.
Actually.
Oh, right. She's not one of those child actresses then.
No, but I think she just stepped out of acting.
Yeah.
I think.
Fair enough.
I think he was more known. You've got those two films are probably.
Jurassic
Park for the older generation, Miracle on 34th Street for he's 34th, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Miracle on 34th Street for the, if you remember him as a younger kid, but other than that, he's more known as director, isn't he?
Yeah, he's directed a few things. You're putting me on the spot now.
Sorry, no, I'm not doing it. on purpose,
No, I know.
I can't think of any. I'm not. Like I said,
apart
I'm not a
from
film buff.
Like I say, his earlier stuff like Brighton Rock is really, really good. It was remade actually recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's kind of about the mods and rockers and when they would go down to Brighton Beach, beat 10 bells out of each other.
Interestingly enough, we won't go on the tangent unless we need to, but we went to Brighton for Liz's 30th birthday, and it was actually mod weekend.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's quite cool. And they had like all the mod shops open, and yeah, it was wet. But so it's quite interesting that you bring that up. Yeah, like I say, I'm not a film buff, so I don't think I've seen him in anything else. I probably have, but nothing that sticks in my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll probably give us a list
through
of films.
Here.
Oh, he was in The Lost World as well, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he came back for The Lost World. I'm trying to look down.
What was director?
Yeah, Bridge Too Far. He wasn't in a lot. From 1979 to 1993, he wasn't in anything. That Jurassic Park was his first year back in acting since 79.
That's probably why
we don't know very much before that. I mean, Bridge Too Far. No. That's a classic war film.
Oh, okay. Don't do war films, really.
No.
We've really gone and done it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See what I mean? Dr. Dolittle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the original?
Yeah, 1967.
Yeah. Is it the original? I don't know.
I believe so. He was in The League of Gentlemen, but not The Extraordinary Gentleman.
Yeah. And not the TV show.
No. Yeah, see, this is it. Before...
And was he in a lot since Jurassic Park? Other than Miracle on 34th?
Not a hell of a lot, if I'm quite honest with you. What have we got? Miracle on 34th Street. E=MC². He was in Hamlet.
No.
The Lost World.
See, that's the thing.
Elizabeth.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Joseph and the Amazing... Oh, no, that was straight to video. The Railway Children, which was the TV movie version. Yeah, not a lot, if I'm honest.
Which is probably why it was big news, because everyone's because of the couple of films.
Yeah,
everyone knows him from, and he's just a nice guy, wasn't he?
Well, fuck. He directed Chaplin, which is the Robert Downey Jr. playing Charlie Chaplin biopic. Amazing film. Shadowlands.
I'm such a film phobe. Is that right terminology?
Gandhi.
Oh yeah,
that's the one I heard. Of course he directed fucking Gandhi.
That's the one I heard. Whoops. Which game I haven't seen.
Oh dear. Oh, What a Lovely War as well. He did in 1969.
There we go. So that's the
shocking, isn't it?
Just goes to show, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We are terrible. Oh well. But that's our happy segment over.
Yeah.
People died.
People died.
And we can't really leave out the lady, who I don't really know. I think Robin Williams overshadowed her. She was an old school actress.
Oh.
Why have we forgotten her name? Deep voice. She had the husky voice, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, we're terrible.
It's gone. Let's not bother.
Sorry. We apologise to our film podcasters that listen to us and the people that like films.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, you went down to Brighton.
Yes, we did. We're not actually going to get any current news in. Oh,
no, we're not.
Okay. Yeah.
There was Liz's
30th birthday. We took a selfie with Darth Vader.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Chloe had a picture taken with Darth Vader holding the lightsaber pose. That was pretty cool. And the pictures are on Facebook. I'm not going to put them up anywhere else.
No.
Sorry, people. But yeah, it was wet, very wet. But I think Brighton's one of those places. It doesn't matter. Really?
Yeah.
You can enjoy it even if it is wet. It's just stunning. It's the first time I've been down there in fucking years. I don't think I've even ever been to the seafront.
No?
Other than driven along it.
Oh,
I went to see WWF down in Brighton, and we had some family that lived in Brighton, but they weren't near the sea. So
I've only ever been down there 2 or 3 times.
But you went down there, we were pissed off because we couldn't find anywhere to park, and then I had to go up and find a parking meter when I got there, and it was raining, and it was just fucking ridiculous prices wise. It was £10.30 for 4 hours because it was right on the seafront.
Yeah.
And then we parked overnight just round the corner from a hotel, and it was £23 for up to 24 hours. So we spent 30 odd quid on parking.
That's insane.
For 2 days. No, it was ridiculous. If you're lucky, after 6:30 you can park on the road for free, but there's like 3 spaces for a hotel. And it's like, no. But I'd been saving up money for months, so I was like, it doesn't matter. We got the money. We're not going to worry about money. We're going to do stuff. We went to the Sea Life Centre, which is just amazing. Seeing sharks and turtles, sea turtles. Chloe loved it. We walked on the pier and spent a ridiculous amount of money on the amusements.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do.
It is.
We went out for dinner and it was lovely, and I embarrassed Liz with a cake
Fair
in
enough.
a restaurant, and everyone in the restaurant sung happy birthday to her, and it had a nice, like, her age on the top of the cake. Well, so I've already said her age. It had like a big 30 on top of the cake.
Yeah.
But she was already a bit drunk, so it was fine.
Ah, that's okay then.
Yeah, tipsy, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was a really, really, really nice weekend.
Good
And
stuff.
we loved it, and she loved it, and Chloe loved it, and it's great.
Good.
And then it finished off with a third trip to Wicked last night. Like her week-long birthday celebration.
Yeah. Well, you're only 31.
I actually got to meet Kerry Ellis, which Liz almost wet herself.
Yeah.
Which was really nice, actually. And she was lovely, and she shook Chloe's hand and spoke to Chloe because Chloe was nervous. What can you do?
Yeah.
Like, we saw it, like, we realised we saw Wicked. The first time we saw Wicked 7 years ago, Kerry Ellis was playing the main role, and Liz was pregnant with Chloe. And last night we went to see Wicked with Kerry Ellis playing the main role as Elphaba, and Chloe was there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and we got to meet her, and it was just really weird. Just amazing. Everyone needs to go and see it. Really
I still haven't been.
You have to.
Yeah.
You can get tickets from £17.50, but there'll be obstructed view in the circle up the top of the balcony, and that's
you
no
do
way
need
to
pay
see
a little
it.
bit more.
There's no way to see it. Yeah, 67 quid.
Yeah.
We paid.
Yeah, you were on the floor, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, and quite far back from the floor. We've been closer both other times, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you're down in the stalls, it doesn't matter where you're sitting. There's no obstructed view. The only thing that gets obstructed is the dragon at the top of the stage, which moves a couple of times. But fantastic show. Everyone needs to go and see it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Joe and I went down to Whitstable last night. It was good.
You're loving your local sort of...
Yeah, we just hopped on a train down there because we couldn't be bothered to take the car, and went round sampling a few ales. Bumped into a guy who used to play guitar in Snide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really weird in this tiny little micro pub, which was no bigger than this kitchen.
Yeah. And Snide, for the people that don't know, I think you mentioned it last week or the week before.
Yeah.
It's the band you played in
after us. Yeah. And I did vocal duties for them for a little while. And yeah, we were talking about that for a little bit last night.
Interesting, I imagine.
Yeah. He was a really, really good guitarist.
Yes.
Amazing guitar. Right-handed, but plays left-handed.
Really?
It's really odd. But yeah, no, we just had a bit of a chat. It was really odd because, like, again, I was saying we were in a room no bigger than this.
Yeah.
And we were chatting away, and then he kind of walked around the back, and I was like, kind of did a double take.
I know that guy.
Yeah, and then he came back from behind the bar, and he does like Saturday nights in there. So it was just the fact that we were in there on a Saturday night that we bumped into him at all.
It's crazy.
It was really cool because he had a problem. His arm stopped working while we were in the band.
Really?
Yeah.
Odd.
His right arm. So the hand that did all the fretwork.
Yeah.
It was odd. So he had to stop playing, and then for me that kind of killed the band.
When the one guy that you
the lead guitarist as well. And yeah, that all went kind of sour, but it got better. It's weird. It's like he said that it's kind of nerve damage. It's almost like when you go out on a night and you come back and you're pissed and you fall asleep with your arm over a chair.
Oh,
like
you get a dead arm, yeah.
But it lasted for 4 or 5 months.
Wow. Sounds a bit sort of Bell's palsy-ish. Like I got the Bell's palsy where the right side of my face stopped working. Left side of my face. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Just a trapped nerve somewhere.
But yeah, so we went there. We went and ate at Whitstable Bay, actually in the harbour itself. We went to a restaurant called the Crab and Winkle.
Winkle.
Because we could. And spent an inordinate amount of money on seafood. Yeah. But it was beautiful.
Yeah,
like we got this massive sharing platter that had king prawn, loads of little prawns, tuna steak, smoked haddock.
Nice. All the expensive
roll mop
fish.
herring. It had winkles, but we couldn't work out how to get them out.
No,
because
it
it came with like the weird fish knife with the skewery bit at the end.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get it in there. And we ate everything else on this platter, and then the waitress came over to take it away, and Joe asked her, "Sorry, are these just decorations?"
Yeah, no, don't you have to crack them?
No, there are pins. There are long pins in the serviettes that they brought round, which we noticed, but thought they were just for. But apparently, you stick the pin in there, but the waitress couldn't even do it.
Oh, really?
She was like, "It's okay, because no one really likes them anyway."
My granddad used to love winkles.
Because we tried to suck them out of the shell as well, but couldn't do that.
Any suction.
No.
You need to make a hole in the other side of the shell.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, otherwise it's just... But yeah, actually, when we went to Brighton, I tried whitebait for the first time. But like Liz said, we'll get a couple of starters and we'll just share.
Yeah.
And she loves whitebaits. And whitebait, I was like, what is it? It's just little fish, tiny little fish. So just little sort of... She described them like inch long sort of.
Yeah, kind of anchovy style.
Yeah, little fish that are just fried.
But they're not,
And they're served up. But we were in Brighton where you get fresh fish.
Yeah, and they're proper.
And they were fuck off great things. And I'm one of these, I can't eat something if it looks like something.
Right,
which is, I won't eat chicken drumsticks anymore because
Okay.
it looks like a chicken leg.
Yeah.
And like ever since I went to Greece, because we went and it was a chicken thigh and the calf, so it had the joint. It was I can't eat that. It looks like a leg. So these fish looked like fish.
Yeah.
And it's just plopping. If they're tiny, it's fine. You pop it in. There's nothing. These were big, so you're popping it in. You're like, I might feel something crunch. And I ate a load of them, and then I started becoming more aware of what I was eating.
Right.
And I started kind of doing the chewing up.
Oh no,
I'm
really?
eating whole fish.
So I love
eyes
seafood.
And
I can't.
They tasted amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with like the garlic bread, and we had some nice Italian meats that we were wrapping them in and putting them on the bread and eat.
So you couldn't eat crab then because it gets served inside the shell.
I think it's ridiculous. Like Liz had king prawns. They were like a foot, curled.
Yeah.
But they were like a foot long.
Yeah.
And then she got about an inch of meat. And it's like, what's the point? It wasn't. It was a bit more than that. But do you know what I mean? You get this massive thing, and then you pull its head off, which is like a third of it, and then you pull its tail off, which is like an eighth, and you're like, you're left with a tiny bit of meat.
But it tastes good.
It's so barbaric.
That's it, because we, like I said, there was a king prawn on this plate, and it was my job to kind of take it apart.
Yeah.
And there was another couple sat right next to us, and I was so aware of the fact that I was literally peeling this thing out of its own shell.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't
while they were having their dinner.
Yeah.
But that's just what you do with seafood,
you're like, fuck off, this is my dinner.
Yeah, because these two, the guy had this big old Neanderthal head. They were both up in their 60s somewhere, and they
Probably
were
from
proper,
Sheppey.
like, Sheppey, Kentish. And she was complaining that, like, the dessert that had come out wasn't a sponge, it was more of a mousse.
Oh my God.
I'd really like it if it was a sponge, but it's not a sponge, it's more of a mousse. And she did this about 4 times.
It's called chocolate mousse.
Yeah, you dick. I just was like, we kept kind of looking at each other.
If it was a sponge, why the fuck didn't you order a sponge?
Yeah, but she kept looking over at our food as well.
I hate people that do
cannot
that.
stand that, so I just stared back at her. And Joe kept looking over to look out of the window, which made them paranoid, made them think we were looking at them, but we weren't. We were looking out the window, even though we were trying to make them
Yeah.
It was a power struggle last night. It really was.
It was like that time we went out for dinner and that old lady just kept staring at us.
Staring at my massive calzone.
I had a calzone the last week or the week before for the first time ever. They're amazing.
They are. Folded pizza. Love it.
I think it might have actually been in Brighton.
Oh, right.
At this restaurant, yeah. If you go to Brighton, Donatello's.
Righto.
Donatello's. It's amazing.
Fair
Lovely.
play.
And yeah, but hey, whitebait. I can't eat fish that look like fish. I can't eat anything that takes longer to get into than it does to eat, like a crab or a lobster or.
Oh man,
prawn.
You're missing out. They're good.
It's annoying because I love the taste of prawn. I like prawn toast. I love the flavour. But it looks like something. You got to pull its head off.
You want the shelled.
It's got eyes.
You want the shelled prawns, don't you? You want the already prepared ones.
That would be alright.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't think I'd like the texture.
No, fair enough. I can't say anything because I hate texture of certain things.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
So
but you've got to pull its head. It's got eyes, and you pull its head off. And Liz just kept finding the not legs, but you know what I mean. What are they called? The fucking stringy things
Fins.
that they use to swim with.
The-
Just
yeah.
kept finding them and going, oh, there's another one, and pulling it out. And there's this long. It's, like, it's gross. I'm marrying you. You're sitting there pulling this little sea creature apart.
Yeah.
The day after, we went to the Sea Life Centre and saw these like seahorses and shrimps and things floating, like swimming about.
Never ever buy rabbit.
No?
No,
Oh, do you have to?
because it looks like a rabbit.
Yeah, no.
Because it is a rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, that's the first time I got anywhere near that kind of squeamish about a food.
What, when
is
you had to
because
prepare a
we
rabbit?
roasted it
Mm.
and then put it on the table as is.
And it looked like a
Tried to
rabbit.
carve it, and yeah,
That's
that was
what I
the.
mean, like-
but it tasted nice. So
Like, when we have chicken and turkey and things like that, I don't mind seeing the carcass of a chicken. I've grown up like with a chicken on the table and turkey on the table, but like shrimp and prawns and things like that, we never did.
right.
So I'm not used to that. And a chicken, it kind of looks like a chicken, but you know, I don't mind that. I won't eat it. I won't carve it. But when we have roast chicken and stuff at home, there's only 3 of us, so we buy like a nice joint, like a breast, nice big chicken breast or something. So a crown, sorry, that's what they're called.
Yeah, that's the word.
A crown and a turkey crown and things like that. So we never buy a roasted, and Liz can't eat meat off the bone. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, good point.
So
Fillets all the way.
all the way. But yeah, Chloe's getting into an age. She's always asked, but I think she's getting to an age where she started associating
Okay.
where stuff comes from, and it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because it tastes good.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't be a vegetarian.
No.
We've turned it back to food again.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I couldn't be a vegetarian. I don't hate grass enough.
No, exactly. It's food for food.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Salad.
Oh dear.
Because of course we had the show a few weeks ago about food, and
Oh yes.
and Nerd Church actually did. They
recorded,
themselves
or they had the
eating
food before our episode went out. Sean's
That's
friends
right.
brought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
food
They didn't
before
do
our
it
episode.
specifically.
No,
but,
yeah.
But then it
was
just
just
so
a bit
happened.
odd that
yeah,
it
yeah.
happened around that
So that was quite cool. And we found out that Ira is a massive, massive fan of Frazzles.
Who is
So when we go out to America, we will have to take a massive multi-bag.
Suitcase.
won't we? Yeah, suitcase of Frazzles.
Frazzles are good. They're the best bacon crisps because they taste like bacon.
Yeah, and they look like bacon as well.
And they do look like rashers, don't
Yeah,
they? They look like
yeah,
streaky bacon.
yeah.
But yeah, Frazzles are amazing.
They weren't happy with the fact that Flaming Hot Monster Munch is branded as hot when it's not.
They're not. It's odd. They have got a spice to them, but it's not a spice that is unbearable to
Like
me.
they were saying that, like, well, I was saying to them, like, I don't think that it's hot. It's just it's the best flavour of Monster Munch. I would like to have heard them try the pickled onion one though.
I want them to try the roast beef the beef flavoured. I think they tried those before, didn't they? The beef ones.
Possibly.
But yeah, the pickled onion would be interesting because that's a big divider. The pickled onion Monster Munch, because it's there's a lot of flavour.
Yeah.
And it's an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah.
But I think they will taste them.
But they up until 3 days ago, they still hadn't tried the pickled onion ones. They were saving it for another day when comfort food might be required.
I don't know if pickled onion Monster Munch constitutes
it's not comfort food.
It's when it's making my mouth water just thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's that thing.
Well, that was it. When they were talking about what they were eating, I could taste it in my own mouth and it was salivating.
Yeah.
So again, go
incredible.
and listen to Nerd Church, guys, if you aren't already.
Which episode was that one? That was 50 as well. That was the start of the Robin Williams episode, wasn't it?
Oh, of course it was.
the
Yeah, it was
beginning,
the same episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So episode 50 of Nerd Church, definitely. Go listen to it if you want to get hungry and if you want to cry.
Yes. Yeah.
Because both will happen. But I want them to trade. They don't get Kinder chocolate,
No,
apparently.
this is true.
That's insane.
That's mental. Yeah. All these things we're going to have to pack.
Yeah. We're going to have a suitcase specifically for treats. It's going to rattle and
It is.
rustle when we go past. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was good to hear them. It is always fun to hear them try English food.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because we should be on the lookout for American food, perhaps. Who knows? Now, the only thing that I found in the news this week, I'll do it very quickly at the end here,
Yeah, that's fine.
is that a secret draft of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has been revealed this week.
I haven't heard this.
Effectively, it is the it's an anniversary of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I want to say it's the 50th anniversary. That's it. It's going to be in October. So everyone knows Charlie Bucket finds a golden ticket, 1 of 5. He goes in there.
He's got a golden ticket. That's always pissed me off about that film, actually. The film version of it, the musical version.
Which one? The proper one?
Yes.
Yeah, not the Tim Burton one. No.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Is the Grandpa Joe sings "I've got a golden ticket."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you fucking haven't.
You don't, he does.
Charlie does. Get it straight, you arsehole.
Dick.
Fucking lazy son of a bitch.
Entitlement.
Lays in bed until there's
lazy
something in it
people.
for him.
Yeah.
And then he hops out of bed and starts dancing and claims the golden ticket for himself. It's not yours.
But apparently the draft chapter that's been published in Saturday's edition of The Guardian, so yesterday, has that there were more than 10 tickets and children. 2 of them were called Tommy Troutbeck and Wilbur Rice, and they get into trouble through their disobedience on the Vanilla Fudge Mountain. The excerpt also contains references to children named Augustus Pottle and Miranda Grope, and has Charlie accompanied by his mother rather than Grandpa Joe. According to Lucy Mangan, the author of Inside Charlie's Chocolate Factory, Dahl wrote 5 drafts of the story, 4 of which survived.
The title of that sounds like an innuendo.
What's that?
Inside Charlie's Chocolate Factory.
Doesn't it just? Dirty Lucy Mangan. Yeah, so it's just... they're releasing the drafts, basically, of the Roald Dahl book.
It's going to spoil the story.
I don't think so. I mean, I can't think that it will, because they were just drafts. They were never... this is the thing. They were never intended to be released. So why... I mean, I know that it's a completionist thing. It's like a deleted scene, isn't it? You know, but...
It's like the God knows how many editions of a film. Very famous film.
Blade Runner?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's God knows how many versions of that.
Yeah.
This actually reminds me, I will go on it quickly because it fits quite nicely, is we took Chloe to see Maleficent because they had a children's showing where you got a free adult ticket with the child. They do that at the Odeon. We went to see Maleficent, and now it was a good film, but unlike Wicked, was written by... I actually looked up his name this morning. I can't remember his name. But Wicked wasn't written by L. Frank Baum.
Right.
He wrote The Wizard of Oz. So Wicked comes along and changes the story, but it's not by the same author.
Right.
So it's kind of like you can take this and believe this if you want, but it doesn't change The Wizard of Oz at all.
Okay.
Whereas Maleficent, I know Sleeping Beauty wasn't written by Walt Disney, but everyone knows the Walt Disney version. Everyone knows the Disney version. Wicked, it's written... No, see, that's about the musical, not the book.
Oh, right. Oh, right, it was a book, was it?
It really isn't important. But anyway, it was written by 2 different people. So Wicked changed the story, but it didn't change the Wizard of Oz itself.
It's not necessarily canon.
It's not canon.
Yeah.
Whereas Sleeping Beauty wasn't written by Walt Disney.
No,
we know that, but like I say, that's the edition.
Yeah.
That's the version everyone knows.
Of course.
Everyone's canon.
Yeah, and Maleficent is supposed to fit into that canon.
It's a Disney film, but it changes the story the same way Wicked changes The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, right.
But the problem is, Maleficent is a Disney film, so that now becomes canon for Sleeping Beauty. You can separate it if you want, but Maleficent is a Disney film.
The fact that it's
Sleeping
2
Beauty
Disney
is
films.
a Disney film.
Yeah.
Disney have just changed Sleeping Beauty canon.
I see.
In the same way, if anyone knows the story of Wicked, then they know what I mean. Like, yeah, it changes the whole story, and that really annoyed me. It's a good film, but Disney have just changed the story. Yeah.
But it's the whole kind of darkening and reimagining of stuff, isn't it? I suppose, but they shouldn't.
They shouldn't change it. No, but it really changes the story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It really changes the story.
Right.
You know, Maleficent being like one of the greatest Disney villains there is.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't have to, obviously, because you've got the live action version, and you can still enjoy Sleeping Beauty as is, but if you're going to be like the Star Wars people are and take canon and say, no, this is what happens later on, even though it's written by somebody else, but they take stuff as canon. This is now canon.
I never got around to seeing it, mainly because I couldn't be bothered with a lot of the kind of Snow White and the Huntsman type thing. You know, when they brought out the Huntsman, and it was that was horrible.
The other thing about Maleficent, it's got the same thing as Frozen,
right?
Which says you don't need a prince.
Yeah. Okay.
They did it around the same sort of time, and it's like you've done that twice and pretty much in exactly the same way.
Oh,
kind of. Not though.
There's a big parallel.
Yeah. But definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. Tell you what also is worth a watch and is still in the cinema. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know.
That was what this whole episode was supposed to be about.
Yeah, we were planning to do it, but we never got around to seeing it.
I did twice.
I never got around to twice.
Yes.
But no, we will see it because, like I said, we've got 2 tickets for £2 for £10. So Liz and I will be going.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I really want to. It's starting to get on my nerves
because it's been long enough.
Talking
now.
about and saying it's amazing.
It is.
It's like, I really know. I want to go.
My review on my blog is spoiler free.
I know, but I don't want anything. I've already had something spoiled by a podcast I was listening to. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I was listening. They said you need to skip forward to this number, so I skipped forward to that number just as they were finishing the conversation.
Oh no!
And they revealed it was about Groot.
Right.
And they actually revealed, and I was like,
oh, rubbish.
I would have never expected.
Yeah.
What you're supposed to think is going to happen. I would have never expected that to happen anyway.
No.
I would know what was coming next.
Oh.
But it might not happen exactly how I'm thinking, but there's something I know that I kind of wish I hadn't known. But it's not going to change the film at all.
No. It will still be massively enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
In all honesty. It's one of the most joyous films I've ever been to see.
Yeah. Better than The Avengers?
Yeah.
Oh, you flat out, yes.
Fuck yeah. I don't care what everyone else says. Like, it's much more fun. As much as The Avengers is a huge roller coaster ride for 3 hours, this is shorter and more enjoyable.
I think Avengers people rate it so much because it was the first massive Marvel film, whereas this is the second massive team Marvel film.
I honestly, it's in the top 5 of all of the Marvel films that have come out. So it's up there with Iron Man 1.
What is your favourite one?
Iron Man.
Oh, Iron Man is your favourite. I really didn't like it. We've had that conversation.
Fucking amazing.
The first time I saw it. I do now.
Yeah.
But hey.
hey.
That news story.
So it's up there. It's Guardians of the Galaxy is up there with Iron Man 1, The Avengers Assemble, Captain America 2 and Thor.
Yeah. The first Thor.
Yeah.
The second one was good.
The second one was good. Not as good.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I need to go.
Yeah.
I keep saying to Liz, when are we going to go? I don't know. Fucking make your mind up. I don't care if we've got the money. We
go
went to
this
see
week.
Wicked last night and spent way too much money.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have taken some of that money and gone into the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's £10.
Yeah.
That's all it
Plus
is.
popcorn.
Plus popcorn. So £20.
Yeah, because popcorn does cost that much, unfortunately, with the drink. But we can't take Chloe. I want to take Chloe, but we can't really.
Why not?
Because she won't sit through it and she'll have her fingers in her ears the whole time.
Oh, right. It is quite loud. I'm not going to lie.
No, Liz will have her fingers in her ears the whole time. And she'll cry because that's what she does. Several times last night as well.
Right.
Oh, well. Right, hey.
Yeah. So here we've been, again, live. Come and find us on Twitter and Facebook. Have a chat with us.
Search for the hashtag PodPals on Twitter and follow everyone that's included in that hashtag.
Yeah. If you found us in the last few weeks due to the Near Ruin interviews, if you're a Near Ruin fan and you find us, thanks for sticking with us and thanks for sticking through this entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Like you were waiting for me to say something. We can't end episodes, people.
No, we can't.
So
next week... live again? I don't really know what's going on.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll leave you in suspense. Will it be another live episode? Will it be another pre-record? Who knows?
But for this week,
I have been Tom.
and I have been Ant.
Bye.